It was then that I slipped my hand into Marilyn Monroe's silk panties and found what I'd always been looking for.
Yeah.
Are you sure this man's a qualified professional?
I don't even know.
It doesn't sound right to me. That's
It's a bestseller, though. You know.
It's page 53 if you want to read it later.
Okay.
Hello there, YouTube.
Oh, hi. I'm David.
I'm Scotty. And I put up a video a short while ago, maybe a while ago,
It was a
called
long while ago.
Screw Babylon 5, was it? Or Babylon 5 Sucks?
Yep.
It wasn't actually about the show, it was about a one of these interactive middle 90s video game titles about shows. Those really crappy ones you used to get on a CD.
Yep.
And I was really more trying to take the piss out of that, but I did say some bad things about the show itself. And we got a few comments and messages from people who wanted to know why we have such a
Disdain.
hard-on against the show. And
Not hard on against the show.
now, should we read those first?
Yeah, let's read some of the comments.
Briefly.
Mate, B5 was a much better sci-fi series than Star Trek, because they had this little thing that many people like to call a plot. I mean, seriously. Babylon 5 actually had real characters, and one of its main features was the depth of character development, and playing on the Star Trek theme. In Babylon 5, they did not always live happily ever after. Major characters that were loved by the audience died, and there was a real sense of frailty and tension. B5 characters had real grit and darkness.
Does anyone actually ever die on Star Trek, or...?
Yeah, sure. The only major deaths were when the actors left, but, you know.
Or when the shows got cancelled because they were crap.
All that, yeah.
So, yeah, well, hang on.
But, you know.
Somebody died in... Yeah, there was the guy that died on Enterprise. I just like to pretend that Enterprise never happened, so you've got us there. I guess Dax dying was kind of sad.
But she left the show.
Yeah, but I mean, she was hot.
Okay.
We obviously have different opinions on sci-fi shows. Just please explain why you have Babylon 5 so much. Hate, not hat. Babylon 5 hat. It's not a case of hating it so much, it's just finding it very risible. I mean, in as much as somebody might not get why people like Star Trek, I don't get the Babylon 5 thing. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't think either of us have really sat down and tried to sit through an entire episode, because everything we see of it is just awful enough that we don't want to even try.
Yeah, I mean, I have looked. The only Babylon 5 I've ever seen was the... I don't know if it started with a movie or a TV movie or an extra long episode. It was that one, and I watched that with my sister Tina on television when it came out. Well, I watched about half of it. we just sort of laughed at most of it. But yeah, with that comment, the thing that strikes me the most is you might be really curious as to why we don't like it, but I don't get the please tell us, because, I mean, even if I'd seen every episode and hated it, would it really matter? I mean, it's just me.
Scotty, could you please explain why you didn't like B5? One of the worst shows ever is a pretty strong claim, but you didn't really explain why you find it so bad.
Again, one of the worst shows ever, that might be a pretty strong claim, but bearing in mind, as I haven't seen that much of it, and I kind of mentally blended in with the spin-off, Crusade.
Crusade, yep.
And that is a show I have seen about 5 episodes of, against my will, trust me. And if you like that show, then we are mentally differently wired. That was sort of...
I haven't seen either show. It looks bad. Just based on I've seen the opening of Crusade, and it looks bad.
It doesn't even... It's one of these shows that doesn't even have an opening theme. It's just got quiet music and a guy talking.
Shit.
Actually, I always thought David would be the kind of guy that liked Crusade.
No.
What an idiot! Babylon 5 is one of the best sci-fi movies ever created! Your words, not ours.
At least Babylon 5 has a consistent story. That is rare in sci-fi. I cared more for the characters in that show versus Voyager, Enterprise, and early TNG. It was the closest to DS9 in terms of characters with depth and stories that you wanted to know what happened in the next episode. JMS overall is a good writer, unlike Berman, Braga, and company.
I can agree with anyone who shits on Rick Berman and the other guy.
Brendan Braga.
Berman, was his name Berman Berger?
Rick Berman.
No, the other guy. See, that's a more level-headed comment. At least he tries to sort of, compare the two as opposed to just...
And it's true, because Deep Space... Out of all the Star Trek series, Deep Space Nine had the most consistency over a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
Like, long story arcs and such.
You watched the shows before, and they barely ever had long storylines. Like, something would happen in one episode and you'd never hear about it
The
again.
most you'd have is like a 2-parter episode.
It's like in the original series when Uhura gets her mind wiped, and by the episode after that, she's back to normal again. And you'd think it
Well,
was...
they didn't have much to teach her.
Well, let's face it, the monkey could do her job.
Scotty. Sorry. I wasn't making a racist joke or anything. I don't know what you're doing, Scotty.
I'm not being racist. I agree with you that Berman and Braga, they're not very good, but they weren't the only people who wrote for Star Trek, and some of the other shit that they didn't really interfere with was actually quite good.
Yeah, we're well aware that Star Trek has shitty bits,
Oh yeah.
but Babylon 5 looks like it has shitty everything.
Again, it seems like a hard show to get into. It's like a hot date that's not going anywhere. You just...
You know, like how you have a bag of assorted nuts and it's got some sultanas in them? You can generally try to avoid the sultanas and go for the peanuts and stuff like that, the good nuts. Well, Babylon 5 is just a bag of sultanas.
Where's the reward then?
There's no reward.
Not for closed-minded fools like us. I mean, if you can think of a rational argument for getting us into Babylon 5, maybe. I don't know why we'd do that. But
I'm too busy watching other stuff.
as interested as you are in finding out why we hate it, or don't like it, whatever, I'm genuinely curious as to what it is you people see in it, because I've watched some clips, and it just seems lame, but
Not a fan.
yeah. Them's the breaks. So anyway, hey Scotty, what shirt are you wearing? You will find that that's a Take Boat t-shirt from
Dinosaur Comics.
Dinosaur Comics. We're pretty fond of that. When was the last time I actually read that?
Oh, years ago.
I haven't read it in a while, but
You'll find that at quantz.com, which is QWANTZ.com.
yeah. I like a lot of their shirts. One that I almost bought was A Wizard Has Turned You Into a Whale. Is that awesome? But I didn't wind up getting it because a friend had it, and
Didn't want to associate with them.
it's just you don't want to have the same shirt as somebody you know personally because
it's
it's weird,
embarrassing.
you know. So
Let's wear our nerd uniform. Out of
I'm
nerds.
supposed to put that back up after we finish.
It doesn't matter, fuck it.
We have the big TV behind us,
Fuck
like,
it.
like Red Bull. Fuck it. Okay, so anyway, that's pretty much all we have to say about Babylon 5.
Yeah, we just wanted to give our opinion on Babylon.
Yeah. We are trying to engage a conversation here. We're not sort of standing on the mountaintop telling you how it should be. You can write back to us and tell us how wrong we are.
We just think Star Trek's better.
Fuck you. No. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway, that's about it.
Is that it?
So, may we see you all again in the future.
In the past.
That's not going to happen.
Oh, shit.
Alright.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Until the pressure comes down.
Thanks, David. Thanks for doing that. I know you didn't really feel like making that video, but...
Yeah.
well, I'm just going to... I'll probably get a drink or something. Or
Yeah, go on.
you finish up on that important video editing I had lined up for you later.
Thanks.
Thanks, man. Okay, so I've left David editing video in my room. At least that's what he says he's doing. And I'm suspicious. What's he really spending the buried in $12 on? Okay, we're going to be quiet.
Not like anything with 8 legs. Except for the benzene. But only because they are terrible at cards. Something to do with compoundizing.
Yeah.
What the fuck? The fuck, man? Oh my god!
How'd you pull your pants up so quick?
I'm a magic man!
Bring it down, bitch. Let me see you back it up. Shut that ass down, load it, pick that motherfucker up. Bring it down, bitch. Let me see you back it up. Shut that ass down, load it, pick that motherfucker up.